Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology. Today, I'd like to share with you an extremely critical topic. And this topic is for general Wing Chuners and traditional Chinese martial art practitioners. Notice I mean general. General doesn't mean professional. General mean the mass people who practicing Wing Chun or traditional Chinese martial art who is not professional, who is not formally trained. The reason why I'm sharing this with you today is after I have discussed with many of our Wing Chuners friends and traditional Chinese martial art friends around the world for past 1 week or so, and also watching a few YouTubes which is exposing the problem of Wing Chun and traditional Chinese martial arts. I make a decision to share this with you. So to sharing this is to provide a solutions. As in this channel, you always see that I present solution instead of just put down people or saying this people is no good, that people is no good. We looking into the technical issue and we want the solutions. Without the solutions, the thing will remain there and it's going to screw up many people. So the topic I'm going to share with you today is what went wrong with Wing Chun? What went wrong with traditional Chinese martial arts? In fact, in today's world, using scientific analysis, we know clearly what went wrong with Wing Chun. We know what went wrong with traditional Chinese martial art. We know the boundary or the limitations of the common Wing Chun or common traditional Chinese martial art. We know that this type of things couldn't take the challenge of Xi Xiaodong. We know it will not be able to face those who have formal training, be it in Western boxing, Kyokushin, Thai boxing, BJJ, wrestling, or MMA. We know. Because things is not that difficult. It can be analyzed scientifically. So let's get into what is going on, what went wrong with Wing Chun, and so we can solve it. And here on, you can walk out from this trap and you are free and you can improve your Wing Chun. So the notions is so that you be able to have the educations and you be able to improve your Wing Chun or your traditional Chinese martial arts. That's the notion. That's the agenda of why I'm presenting here. Nothing else, okay? Now, there are 3 things went really wrong with Wing Chun and traditional Chinese martial art. When I say really wrong is, yes, really wrong, deadly wrong. The first problem, the first thing which went really wrong is using a wrong reference and not scientific. using a wrong reference and not scientific. For example, you look around, people using their grandmaster as the law of universe. It's like, for example, Hendrik say this. Hendrik is a grandmaster. Hendrik is my grandmaster. Hendrik say this. Hendrik teach me to keep just practicing. Someday I will get it. And that is the truth of the universe. So you can replace the name Hendrik with any grandmaster names. That's how it is. Those are the mentality. Because Hendrik said that's the truth. And I just have to keep practicing it. I'll get it someday. Usually this type of stuff, you know what it will end up to? If Hendrik have 10 students, every student will have their truth on what Hendrik said or Hendrik teach. So you line up 10 students after Hendrik died, every one of them will tell you, this is what Hendrik teach me. This is the truth of the universe. Nothing to do with scientific proven or anything at all, but just Hendrik said, because the grandmaster is the law of universe. And because the grandmaster is the law of universe, he's like the God who create everything. So the world, the entire thing start with Hendrik, not the techniques, the science and everything, which is what it is. Okay? So for example, my student, which is, my student will say, Hendrik say this, but it doesn't tell you about what is Wing Chun is about, what is the Shaolin Sword Strike Canon is writing, what is General Qi Ji Guang is writing, what is the Wing Chun 1850 Xiu Lim Tao writing is about. But Hendrik said, and you ignore all the General Qi Ji Guang Shaolin Sword Strike 1850s the Xiu Lim Tao writing. It just, Hendrik is the God. Hendrik know everything. So I just follow him, and whatever I got is the truth. Okay? Because that is no criteria to verification what Hendrik said. Whatever Hendrik said is the truth. Okay? So the ultimate is no form. No form. The ultimate is flow like water. Hendrik said that. So you just keep practice that, and then someday you will get into that. Flow like water, formless. Okay? The second screw up is student is the proof of truth. You get my student, whoever practice with me, to push me. You say, well, see, Hendrik, you cannot push him. You cannot touch him. He will have the speed of lightning. So the student now is the proof of Hendrik is the ultimate universe law of the world, the superhuman being. Okay? So the first thing is Hendrik is the it, the law of universe. The second is the student is the proof, the witness, the testimony of Hendrik is the truth of universe. And the third thing is, well, Hendrik belongs to this Yit Gam lineage, 1850. That is the truth. Nobody, no other Wing Chun is as truth as that. That's what it is. And then everybody practice ritual, call this 1850 Xiu Lim Tao said. Just practice the ritual. Okay? That's how it is. So this is the first thing why the entire thing screw up. There is no martial art here. Martial art meaning study of the truth. Martial art meaning a skill. This is a cult. This is not martial art. This is not Wing Chun at all. And then people sitting around, some boasting, well, I'm closer to Hendrik than you. Or I know this grandmaster and I know Hendrik's. And then somebody said, no, Hendrik is full of it. He doesn't know anything. My grandmaster is better than that. And then say, well, no, the Yikam lineage is nothing. I have something which is even older. Or I have something which is my grandmaster modernized. You're sitting around for that for 80 years, you do nothing on technical, and you go spiral in that. That is one of the problem with Wing Chun. That's what went wrong with Wing Chun, one of it. And not only Wing Chun, you look at traditional Chinese martial art, that is the pattern. Okay? So avoid that. When people tell you Hendrik is the universe, if Hendrik's student tell you that he can do this, like a Superman or something, or Hendrik's lineage, you ask them a question. Which classical traditional Chinese martial arts canon Hendrik's teaching is based on? Will him, whatever he said, be able to prove scientifically? You ask two questions there, right? Where is it from? Is it from Shaolin Sword Strike canon? Or which document? Need to be objective. Is it scientifically provable? Like Hendrik say this Xing Qi to Dan Tian. Will Hendrik be able to prove it with the fitness tracker, SpO2, and the heart rate? Okay, so that's number one. Stop getting into the religion. You are doing religion and cult. You are not doing martial art. You are not even doing Wing Chun. By whose standard? By the Shaolin Sword Strike canon standard. Okay? Written in there. That's what traditional Chinese Shaolin Sword Strike martial art is about. Follow that canon. Okay? Nobody else. And you can see that the canon is supported by whom? By General Qi Ji Guang. And you know that the 1850s Xiu Lim Tao writing, as in the Wing Chun Inception, is mutual support each other. It has to be that way. The second thing, which is really screw up, is lost and confused. So the first is using wrong reference. The second is lost and confused. The first thing of wrong and confused or lost and confused is no reality view of what is going on. Have no reality view of what is going on. So it doesn't have the H model view like in the Wing Chun Inception. Okay? The H model disregard of what type of martial art you can map it here. Any traditional Chinese martial art you can map it here. You'll be able to know what type of heart rate and what type of heart rate zone when you practice that. You want to get into meditations, quiet your mind, you want to nurture your qi or your energy, you better get in there. If you want to sing your qi, it associates with a heart rate. And then you want to handle your joints and balls and force handling, that is the heart rate. Handling of the impulse momentum, accelerated impulse momentum, fully accelerated momentum, and in this impulse momentum, you need to be able to develop your strength. Okay, the prerequisite is you need strength to handle momentum. Okay, you need power, you need endurance, you need speed. So why is it? Well, if you have a car which need to move, a car you need to move, that is dealing with impulse momentum, and it needs to have the strength, the power of the car, and the endurance, meaning that how long this car can move, how far this car can move with this much of the fuel, okay, of how many horsepower, and how long it can last before it overheat, and then what is the speed. That's what it is. You need to, when you want to handle impulse momentum, you have to do that. And on this accelerate impulse momentum, which is fighting, then one needs to have a comprehensive view of what is impulse momentum handling. What is it? And then one need to know what is the combinations and what is the strategy. If we don't have idea of that, forget about fighting. And for the full accelerated, that means going full speeds. So anybody who don't have a view of that, go watch the Western boxing teaching videos or YouTube today's. Okay, you have a few really good coach who teach Western boxing there. You see how they teach the combinations, the strategy, the comprehensive on attack and so forth, like how they are going to set up their hook with their jab, all kind of stuff. Okay, so without this realistic view, what one is training? What do you train? You just go sit down there doing your 小练头, your sets, putting a cheese and wooden dummy. Where are you here? While the Western boxing, as I just mentioned to you, you can see there, you can see all the conditioning and everything. So where are we? Asking the questions. If we don't even know where are we here, how the world are you going to face a Western boxing student? We're not talking about Mike Tyson, we're just talking about a former student. Go look on the YouTube. There are many good boxing coach there. Look at how they teach, how they are clear with all this thing. With their breathing, their body conditioning, skip ropes and all kinds of stuff. Or even heavy back striking. Okay? So you need the realistic view. Instead of just doing this sets, this chi sao, this secret techniques. How is it fit into that? Asking that question. The second, lost and confused, ultimate techniques, ultimate mind, ultimate chi power. And as soon as you have this, you solve the entire issue. For example, you go to study with Hendrik, then with Hendrik's chi power or Fa Jing power, then you solve everything in the world. You believe that? You just go study with Hendrik on the Fa Jing power or chi power, or this a few techniques, the ultimate secret few techniques from Yit Gam 1850, and then you're gonna beat the entire world. And yet you have no idea on this. So it is like you go to learn from Hendrik how to move, and you will beat all cars in the world. You can beat Ferrari, Porsche, because you learn move like what Hendrik teach you. And then if you want to pay more money, like 10,000 euros, then Hendrik will teach you this chi power. You using your intention and your chi, you don't need to use your body, and then you will win a Ferrari. So that is lost and confused. How many people in the doing Wing Chun and traditional Chinese martial art is doing that? Go check it out. Okay? It is hopeless. That's why the other day I was chatting with Asia MMA player, and he's just telling me all this traditional Chinese martial art and Wing Chun and Tai Chi is all scam. And I was listening because he is he how to say that, he think that Xu Xiaodong is right, and he think that Xu Xiaodong is actually already giving face instead of saying all traditional Chinese martial art is scam and fake. Xu Xiaodong said, oh, only certain people's fame fake and scam. So I was chatting with him in the messages, and after a while, I will not defend. Why? Because what he present is a fact. What can I say? How can I defend anybody when other people, the other party is actually get you directly on what you screw up here? It's not to say, oh, you are full of it, you don't know, you're not scientific. No, they go really details. And this is an MMA friend, okay, in Asia. The Chinese MMA friend in Asia. So, if one keeping doing this, it is hopeless. Even if Wing Chun is here today, he cannot save you. Because you like it or not, if Wing Chun is here today, this is what he will tell you in today's language. So all this internal, that, and so forth, is being completely trashed by the Asia MMA player already. So everybody have their freedom to choose. You want to continue to be lost and confused and thinking your technique solve the ultimate thing? Well, your freedom. But the world have wake up. Even the Chinese MMA people have wake up. That's the reality. The third thing is lack or no impulse momentum education or training. This is impulse momentum educations and training. From impulse momentum handling to full accelerated with the development of strength, power, endurance, speeds, combinations, comprehensive, and strategy or setup. Those are impulse momentum education and training. Now, under this, just check around. How many know this stuff, this impulse momentum stuff? And most don't know about impulse momentum, and they always say all martial art is the same. In fighting, all martial art is the same. Wing Chun is the same with Western boxing. Western boxing is the same with Thai boxing. Thai boxing is the same with BJJ. As soon as you get into the fight, everything is the same. So Wing Chun can using the Western boxing's impulse momentum handling or whatever, it is the same. Are you out of your mind? The boxing is a long fish. The Wing Chun is a Shaolin short strike, sticking body short strike. Thai boxing is good in kicks. BJJ is good in taking down. Is all martial art the same? Of course it's not. Everybody have its uniqueness and they need to train in their uniqueness. And if you have no idea, you're lost and confused, and of course you couldn't even know what is the impulse momentum play and so forth, you're going to see everything's the same. It's just like what? Like a colorblind will see red and black and dark green and brown is all the same. Well, they are not the same. It is just we are colorblind. Okay? So if one never been educated or trained in the impulse momentum, never trained in the strength, power, endurance, speed, and keeping doing chi sao, push hand, fa jing, and always the other party or the student take it. How one is going to know the reality of an impulse momentum handling, or in the competitions, the fighting? How can one know what is the difference there? If one keeping playing your wooden dummy sets and playing your sets, and you're thinking some days you will be able to take the entire world, where is that in this H model? Your wooden dummy and your sets and your chi sao and your techniques practice. How is it compared with this, the real deal? And they come down to the next one, narrow as ultimate. You say, well, I practice Wing Chun. I go chain punch, straight, linear. That is the ultimate. There's Wing Chun. Do you know how Western boxing is going play? Did Western boxing using center line too? If we think, well, Wing Chun is center line, direct. You strike and chain punch the center line. That is the ultimate. There's Wing Chun. You can solve everything. Do you know what Western boxing do? Did Western boxing have center line? Of course, yes. They have center line like this. They're going to do jab this way. So this is a center line. It's going to come from this angle or this angle. And here can be jab here or hook here. And yet you're thinking that you go center line this way, you are ultimate, when you have no idea that boxer will go this way, or with the jab or hook. No, jab, cross, hook. Who is going to go like this with you? Compete who is faster, who take more punch. Just look at the Western boxer. Look at how good coach in YouTube teach Western boxing. Is it a center line and you're going this way, or going from this way? So now your narrow techniques, or you stand there with your straight spine, lifting your anus. How are you going to face the Western boxer? Just going both sides at you. You say, well, I'm good, I'm playing the wooden dummy. Go check out the what do you call it? Skip line, not skip ropes. You know, where they tie the Western boxer tie ropes, and then it's skip both sides and hit. Look at the those type of training where they tie a rope, go from here, 1, 2, go on here, 1, 2, hook, those kind of thing. And you see that they practice all day long when they shadow and so forth. How do you think you're going to face that with your wooden dummy practice? Where you stand in front of the wooden dummy, do your techniques. While the Western boxer turn side to side and they know how to avoid it, go up and down their body, and they come with a chain strike, continuous strike. So how is the wooden dummy practice will contribute to in this impulse momentum playing when the Western boxer have those kind of training? Okay, this is realistic. Look at how they train here. And look at how they set you up. Jab, jab, jab. You put it down here. It's coming with a hook. Of course, gonna sidestep a little bit, put in the hook. Nobody gonna stand in front here. And while you're doing this, you open up your rib. When you're doing like that, you open up with your chin. When you put your hand like this, guess what? You open up that elbow there. Immovable elbow is actually the target. An uppercut to the immobile elbow will disable you. By the way, the Chinese know this. The Chinese martial art old grandmaster know this. Yes. 1974-75 times, I was in the Hanjiang High School in Penang, Malaysia. At that time, I was in Kyokushin and in Wing Chun and so forth. So in Hanjiang High School, there is a martial art group, other martial art, Chinese martial art group, is have a teacher, a very respectful teacher, Sifu Guang Sifu. And I went there and chatting and young kids, right, just teachers. And he taught me, he said this is called Guo Du. He's from Jingwu, right, Jingwu Associations, and he studied eagle claw and praying mantis. He said that Guo Du, strike on the elbow, and then it go on the other side. That's called Guo Du. I still remember so many years later. Okay. So the old generation Chinese know this thing. They know all these combinations. So you're just keeping like this and just doing this like the movie. Well, there's movie. The first thing you want to take away is just take away uppercut to take away this too. You're left with one hand. You want to get this hand up, just take another hand up, and that's all. Well, when you take this, you know what happened? When the uppercut shoot here or here, it's going to damage the shoulder. That's why in the ancient Shaolin sword strike, it put close the hand. You cannot take it. You can make an experiment. Those pad, hitting pad. Like when I was in Kyokushin, decades ago, 1970s, when you get some heavy bags, you know, at that time we don't even have the heating pad like today, but you know, just hold on to a sandbag so that the opponent can kick those kind of stuff. It's always taught by my Kyokushin instructor. Put your knee close to your body when you hold the heavy bag for your friend. Not put like that. Put like that, you're just going to injure this. Okay? So that belongs to this. So it doesn't mean that I know it all. It doesn't mean that the Chinese doesn't know it. It doesn't mean that all other martial artists, they don't know it. The old generation has passed. Many good coach today. They are coach, not sifu. Coach means they train their student to be good. They are really humble. Okay? They are really humble. Like for example, I also met some Chile fight coach, sifu, coach type. They show me in Fatsan. They show me all this thing. And they show how the strength and so forth. So that's why in the beginning I said, in general public, I'm not saying that those professional, because you do have people in traditional Chinese martial who know that. What I'm sharing with you today is we need to be scientifically to know what it is. Otherwise, we are putting ourselves or we are injuring ourselves. Another thing is all this Bruce Lee's inch punch. You don't want to do that. Like you look at in the Xu Xiaodong's TV show that the Wing Chun guy who he fought later, you know, with Ding House and so forth, showing this long bridge inch power. Those things get your body to over-lean, overshoot. In a real life, if you think that you know that, you solve the entire world's impulse momentum problem. Look at Ding Hao with Xi Xiaodong, you see what's the reality. So this is what I like to share with you today. Of course, this might create a lot of controversy and so forth. But again, you want to sit down there for next 100 years to argue? Or you want to look into this and see, hey, open the eyes, what the other martial artists have been done, and what is the ancestor of the Chinese Kung Fu know, and also there are many sifus in Chinese, traditional Chinese Kung Fu knows today. They just not as me, like really Americanized, so I just put it open for you. So this is what I like to share with you. It's your choice what you want to do. This is the solution I provide. So that's again the reason I wrote this book. It's called Inception, is because this is the first step. You want to reform, you want to evolve, you want to get the educations. It is the first step. You need to get all this straight, or else you know. It's fine for anybody who wants religion or cult. It's fine for whoever wants to do a certain thing to live in their own world. But it is not fine when you want to face the reality of the world in the martial arts.